Hey, everybody, GameHounds podcast. How are you? We are here. Nick is a little bit late, and I'm futzing with stuff. How are you? I have zero fucks to give today. Didn't even bother to take.
Another one of those days.
Yeah. Well, I was up far too late. I'm such a bad person. It's far too late.
Doing
You're gonna laugh at
doing
me.
good things, bad
Yeah,
things.
good things, gaming things, but you're gonna laugh at me.
Okay. Oh
Uh,
no.
City Skyline.
Huh. Okay.
I fell into that hole again. God, Paradox just has my number these days. And once
Is
again,
Cities a
it was.
Paradox game?
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't realize that.
Yes, it is. Very much so. It's very typical. Same thing that happened before. Get on YouTube. YouTube is the one that really has my number. And it serves me up something that's kind of interesting. And I discover it. And it leads me to actually start playing the game. In this case, I already own the game. So there is a guy who is an actual city planner in Wisconsin. And he plays City Skyline. And he talks about city planning and in real life, and then plays the game as a city planner. I mean, he's got, years and years of experience. He's got a master's in city planning. He does city planning in Wisconsin. And so I've always found city planning to be fascinating. One of the reasons why I love freaking SimCity and all the other stuff. And talking about things like road hierarchies and zoning and buffer zones and where you would place utilities in the game, where you can place them anywhere. And it's like, yeah, you can't do that in real life. You've got to put your water and sewer laterals under the roadway because you can't have to worry about the right of way. Just crazy, just, stuff like that. Just interesting. And he's been playing the game for a long time. And of course, everything was shut down for the pandemic.
Oh, yeah.
So he did a lot. And he builds a whole city. And it's like, Jesus Christ, I didn't really scratch the surface when I played City Skyline. So, of course, I was like, maybe I should open it back up. 4 o'clock in the morning. Fuck. And I'm not even tired. I woke up at 6 and I'm playing until 6 a.m. Played until 4 a.m. So I was almost up 24 hours.
That's a little crazy.
Yeah, and did not feel it. If only it was that easy to pull an all-nighter for other reasons, for actually worthwhile reasons. Yeah, there we go. City Planner Plays. That's him right there. Thank you. Very good job. Yeah, he's actually really interesting.
Did you see that video I sent you of Spiffing Brit playing the transport?
Yes, I'd already seen it,
something.
actually.
Oh, okay. I watched that late at night, and yeah, that was amazing.
Laughed your ass off.
The giant train that backs up traffic so much people start dying.
While they wait for the train to go through. Yeah.
And it never does. Like, by the time the video ends, the whole train has not yet left the station.
But it's already at the edge of the other edge of the map. Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty funny. He breaks the games in really interesting ways.
Yeah.
So yes. How are you? How's things? Before we start the show.
I got called in for a virtual jury duty on Monday. So I just have to report. Thank God I don't have to go to the courthouse at 8:30 in the morning.
Oh yeah, that struggle is real.
You know what? It's almost like the city wants you to hate jury duty.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to report virtually at like 1:30, and fingers crossed I don't have to do it for long, because the idea of it just sucks so much. Like it's not just the idea of like serving on a jury, it's the fact that it interrupts everything else in life.
Everything
That
else.
like all the actual work I do to get paid has to get put on hold and backed up because of this stupid thing, and I hate it so much. Oh, okay. Edie just left. That's weird. Okay. But yeah, that's what I'm doing is I have to report for jury duty, and fingers crossed I don't get picked for like an actual case. It's funny because I've never actually had to report for jury duty. Like all through my life, I've always, gotten every once a year or so, gotten the little ticket that says, "Hey, you have to report, call in, at this time." But I've never actually gotten called. This is the first time in 36 years that I've even had to report. So fingers crossed I can at least keep the other streak going and not have to actually participate. Lost one record, but keeping the other one going, hopefully. Other than that, AC Wraith, I'm not sure if that's the Destroying Video Game Logic Made Me a Billionaire. That might be the video. It's one where he plays a game that's called like Transport something. And like the whole game is about making money by transporting goods from one end to the other, which is kind of a neat concept. Like it's not about building a city, and it's not even really about building infrastructure.
Can you hear me?
Oh yes, now I can.
That was weird. My everything just failed.
Really?
Everything. I'm sitting there listening to you talk about jury duty and everything. I could hear you. I could see you. But everything to do with my camera, with my connection to the world, just disappeared.
Yeah, you just left. And yeah, AC Wraith, that is the video.
Yep.
And no, Sean, I'm not alone. Thank God for that. Otherwise, it would just be me complaining about various things for an hour, and that's not fun.
Yeah, that would have been bad. All right. So I don't know what happened there. I'm hoping it doesn't happen again. I have to redo everything on Spreaker because it failed and started screaming.
Oh yeah.
All right. So what game are we talking about?
Subnautica.
Mm-hmm.
Ghost Runner.
One word or two?
One.
And what was the name of that thing? Something noir.
Oh, Genesis Noir. That's right. I wanted to play that, and I never got around to it. And then I played one called The Spectrum Retreat.
Okay. And then in the news, we normally do this offline, but today we were running late, so I don't have much. All right. So
console sale report.
What's the headline on it?
You can just say that, console sales report, because it's about PS5 and Xbox and Switch.
Let's see, what do I have? Bethesda shutting forums for Discord. Take-Two makes a shit ton of money.
Okay.
62 games through 2024. New project teased. CD PR suits consolidated CDPR investor lawsuits become class action. And investor is not spelled like that. All right. And Tim Cook.
Okay, keep going.
Oh,
Much.
you have your microphone up, so.
Oh, I thought you said you didn't have much.
This is my last one. Epic v. Apple. Tim Cook closes testimony goes to judge Monday. Okay, what do you got?
WB Games getting split up. Evil Within 3?
Announced?
No, just question mark. Oh, let's see, what other...
Riveting.
I mean, I've got a bunch, but I don't know how major they are. You can get the Normandy, Mass Effect's Normandy in No Man's Sky. And then the personal biggest news of the week is that the Berserk manga author died, but
yeah,
I don't know how relevant that is. Kentaro Miura. Microsoft closes Game Pass loophole.
Another great. This is the reason why we do these things before the show. All right. All right, I guess that's good. What's the Discord? Sean asks. Well, let me tell you, the Discord is right here. First off, you can go to the Facebook page, facebook.com/the GameHounds, and that link is right at the top of the page. But if you want to see it, actually see it, it is right there. Also, don't forget to hit the notification tab and if you don't feel like that, that's cool. Just like the minimum effort, like the video. Thank you for the 2 thumbs up so far. So yeah, there's the Discord link. Hey, Andrew Smith is in the chat room.
Hey.
How's Seattle? How's our boy? Did you have a good flight? Yes, that is why he's not here, is because he is in Seattle. He's closer to us now than he ever has been, ever.
Mm-hmm. Except he didn't fly. Remember, he rode the rails.
No, he flew.
No, he hopped on a train and did the hobo thing, going from train car to train car.
Oh, right. Yes.
It's not going to fly.
Hey, got goalie in the house. Wow, it's like all the missing. There's more GameHounds hosts listening than there are actually on the GameHounds right now. Or actually equal.
Yeah, it's equal. It's equal.
Yeah. Hey, and Sean says this is the first time that he's actually listened live. Cool. I'm glad you're here.
Yeah.
I guess what was it? Somebody had gas in the chat room.
That's cool.
Go ahead. If you're gonna have gas, have it in the chat room.
Yeah, that's the best place for it.
Yep. He says he went to Burlington for the last couple of days, just got back to Seattle, heading back home tomorrow. What should we recommend he do in Seattle?
I don't know. Most of what I do in Seattle is go to PAX. We've almost never explored the actual city.
Well, I mean, there's the Dragonfish.
True. Yeah, that's a good place.
Yeah, the Dragonfish. It's a great restaurant, and they have happy hour.
Yeah,
they have happy hour like before 6 and after 9. And go there and go to the happy hour and eat everything. It's goddamn delicious.
Yeah.
They have tour buses that will pick you up and take you to a cannabis dispensary.
Really? I mean, can't you just use Google Maps for that?
Well, I mean, when we were at PAX, they have green buses that are just standing outside going, would you like, they're like party buses that will pick you up in front of the convention center and take you to a dispensary.
Okay. I mean, anything to get customers.
Yeah. And it says it's been pretty nice. Got to see an ocean and mountains. That's right. You've never seen an ocean or mountains.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Mount Rainier is gorgeous.
Shit.
Oh
Happy
my
birthday.
gosh. Happy birthday. Yeah, go get yourself something delicious. Go get yourself a cake. They know how to cook in Seattle. Dave says, join Antifa. Do not join Antifa.
Hey, when you join, they give you a free cupcake. So that'd be perfect.
That's just what, maybe that's what they need to just, win people over, is just hand out cupcakes.
Yeah, exactly.
The flower children fought bombs with flowers. Why can't they fight guns with cupcakes?
Stick a cupcake in the barrel of a cop's gun.
Yep, or get some weed cake. You can absolutely do that. There's double up. No, don't do any weed, because it might be legal in Seattle, but it is not legal where you're going home, and you're probably going to get drug tested.
That's why you do now while you're in Seattle. Why would you get drug tested going on a plane?
You never know. That shit happens random, man. When I worked at JetBlue, I didn't go to concerts because I didn't want to take a chance on having anything come up, because at one point, because it's all random. At one point, I was being drug tested every 2 to 3 months, like
That's
for
because you
almost a
worked
year.
at JetBlue.
No, right. I worked at JetBlue. Right. But he
Yeah.
works for a company that works at Google at the data
Oh,
center.
okay.
You
So
know,
you're saying his work might do that. Okay. I thought you meant
his work might do that.
the airline might do that.
No, 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 no. He works in a place where he very well may be drug tested. So
I
yeah,
guess he
take
would.
no chances.
I feel like he would know more better than anyone. Like if it's never been a thing, for as long as he's been there, then it's not likely to be a thing in the next 7 days.
Yeah, well, I mean, when I worked at JetBlue, I got drug tested my first day. I worked there 5 years. I got drug tested my first day. And then I was left the fuck alone. And then I got drug tested my last year there every 2 to 3 months. And it was completely random. It just happens like that. It's kind of like
now I know.
kind of like jury duty. Jury duty is the same way.
Was full of narcs.
I did jury duty. Like I was getting called for jury duty less than a year from my previous jury duty. I was getting sent every 6 months a jury summons. And like would have to go, I just did jury duty and have to prove to them that I just got done with it. I got stuck in some kind of weird loop. And then I didn't do jury duty and they stopped calling. I didn't actually call in, didn't show up 1 year because it was the week my mom died. And I was like, I totally forgot, didn't call in. And then they stopped calling, which was fine because I sat on so many fucking juries. And yeah, let's, if you're doing jury duty, hope you always think, oh man, I really hope I get on some kind of a good trial, like a murder.
No, I don't, because that will last a while.
I've sat on a murder trial. I sat on a first-degree murder trial. It was awful. I don't sit well with that. I sent an 18-year-old kid to jail for first-degree murder. And I don't feel good about it. Also, there was this substantial, when it's little stuff, there's no jury bullying, but in murder trials, there's jury bullying. They absolutely, because nobody wants to sit on there a long time. And if you're like, I have questions, they're like, no, you don't. And I had questions and it's like, they essentially surrounded me and yelled at me until I voted their way.
Oh, the other jury members?
Yeah. Jury bullying is a thing. That's another reason why I don't feel good. JC Ray says, I've been called for jury duty multiple times, only had to go once, and always a case resolved before I had to do anything. Yep. Here's my patented way how to get out of jury duty.
Don't show up.
That too. You should, but how to do it legally without, like doing the dickhead thing and not showing up. If your jury if your jury duty allows you to delay and set the week that you're available, which my county does, you set it the Monday after, or in cases of like high holidays, like Thanksgiving. Yeah, usually the Monday after Thanksgiving or the Tuesday after a Monday holiday. Because juries are like movies. You got to get everybody all in the same room, nobody on vacation, nobody on summer break. So you pick like 4th of July, Memorial Day, Labor Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, like the week after Christmas, between Christmas and New Year's. Oh yeah, you set your jury for that. And you will not get called because you might end up having to go in, but you won't get called. You will be dismissed.
Yeah. No one wants to do a court case during that time.
Nobody wants to do a court case during that time.
I have
Sean
to say,
says, watching the live video,
Sean.
Nick, did you know you look like the love child of Joe Pesci, Phil Collins, and Jason Alexander? I mean, they mean that in the most respectable way.
I could see it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, for Gully, he says those days are always blacked out. Yeah, not ours. I'm pretty crafty about picking the days
I'll
that I
have to
know that I'm
see
not
if I
going to
can do
get
that
called.
because I did not know. I don't know how to like choose the week
It
I'm
depends. It
available.
depends on your jury
I'll have to
summons.
see.
Ours is that you can send back the little card and say, "Come during this day."
Oh,
You know,
I see.
I'm available for this. You know, I can start performing jury duty on this day, and then essentially they work around your schedule because you might be on vacation or whatever. The first crack is free at picking a new date. So, shall we do a show? Man, I am so not feeling a show today. I'm
Yeah,
not feeling a lot of
sure.
things right now. We had Thursday. We had a pretty significant health scare here, so
Oh
I
no.
haven't ever recovered from. Yeah, Kevin aspirated some liquids,
Oh.
but he was able, with a lot of effort, getting it done, getting it out. But it was dicey for a bit. All right.
So how's he
So,
now?
oh, he's fine. He got it out and he's been fine and he hasn't shown any adverse effects from it. So it looks like he got all of the fluid out and
Okay.
hasn't started anything horrible. Now let's get the actual audio show ready to go. Fortunately, I can do this after all these years. It's like falling off a bike. I can do it in my sleep.
I have not heard that saying before, but I kind of like it.
What?
It's like falling off a bike.
Mm-hmm. Yep, comes naturally. All right. So, we're ready to go do the show?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Technology, and these podcasters are big fat potty mouths. If you're younger than 18 or are easily offended, please stop this podcast now. Oh, and your mom says to take out the trash and do your homework.
All right. Mics are hot. Hello and welcome to GameHounds. GameHounds episode 595. We are recording this on Sunday, May 23rd, 2021. I'm Edie Sellers. With me is Nick DiNicola. Andrew is still off. He's back next week. Thank God. Man, Andrew, we missed you. But we have a full chat room in the chat room on YouTube. If you want to watch us live right now, if you're listening to this as an audio show, we are doing this live via video. We are on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. On Facebook and Twitch, we are the GameHounds. Look for us that way. And on YouTube, we are GameHounds Vids, as in VIDS, as in videos. How you doing, Nick?
I'm good. Yeah. Other than having to do my civic duty, everything else is going well.
Yeah, we were talking about jury duty. Nick has gotten called into jury duty.
Yeah. And I don't like it. I resent it. I resent having to do my civic duty. Fuck that.
Yeah, speaking of zero fucks, we were also talking about, I mean, that's the name of the show. I have zero fucks to give today. I was up way, 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 way too late playing City Skyline. And once again, YouTube has fed me a video that got me into a rabbit hole of watching the video. And then that made me actually go play the game. Paradox, you just know how to ruin my life. But yeah, I've been watching a city planner, an actual city planner who is out in Wisconsin. He has a YouTube channel called City Planner Plays, and he plays City Skyline and explains actual real city planning principles as he's playing City Sky, and then designs a city based on those principles. And they work so much better than anything I have ever done. So it made me go, oh, maybe I'll go play.
I hope the cities he makes are like really good.
Oh, they're
efficient
awesome.
Cities.
He
Okay.
does planned developments, and he does transit hubs, like transit villages, and the differences about how you design a suburbs, like a planned suburban neighborhood versus like a city with grids, following the contours. The roads follow the contours of stuff, and road hierarchies. I mean, I'm already using the road hierarchies, and my like all of my transit, just the roads are so much better. So, and that was always my thing, is that I just made a ton of gridlock. It was a gridlock machine for that game for me. And all of a sudden it's like, oh, that's how you stop gridlock. Cool. Road hierarchies. So yeah, thank you very much for the link there.
Does he only play City Skyline? Because I know there was a mobile game on, it might have been Apple Arcade, but it was a mobile game called like not Mini Metro, because that would be subways. But it's like from the developer who made Mini Metro. But it's like a very simplified game where you just create highways and roads. And so it's like a business would randomly pop up on the screen, and then a suburb would randomly pop up someplace else. And you have to connect the two. And when you do, you start getting traffic going between them. Then another business pops up, and another suburb pops up, and they just keep fucking popping up. And you're like, wait, oh shit, now those things are next to each other. I need to completely like delete everything here.
There was a game like that I played. It was on Steam. It's in my Steam library. Let me pull up my Steam library. By the way, if you are interested right now, it happens to be one of those fortuitous times that I've picked back up on City Skyline. City Skyline is 80% off for the base game, and all of the DLC packs are 50% off. So what would normally cost you hundreds of dollars does not cost you hundreds of dollars.
Okay, the game I'm thinking of is called Mini Motorways, and it's on Apple Arcade and Steam. So
Mini Motorways. Okay, because there is a lot. There is another one that I played. What was it called? Mini Metro.
Yeah, same developer.
Yeah, Mini Metro was a good game for me to play at work, but boy, it got just horrible. Talk about gridlock. But yeah, right now City Skyline is what the actual game is $5.99 instead of $30. So yeah, if you're thinking about City Skyline, now is the time to pick it up. It is way cheaper, and then the packs themselves are 50% off, so they're like $7.50 instead of $15.
Nice.
Yeah. And all the radio stations and stuff, all the stuff that they normally charge you for $4 for, it's all like $1 now or $2 now. So thank you for the link there, AC Wraith.
Yeah, and for Mini Motorways.
Yeah, so and is it Mini Motorways? There we go. Mini Motorways. There we go. So Sean Barber in the chat room says he stayed up myself playing Trover Saves the Universe on his Oculus Quest 2.
I would like to play that if I had a really good VR headset.
Yeah, but I'm not getting a VR headset. I have better things to do with my money.
I mean, I've heard that there was the rumor.
Don't get me
Sony's
wrong, a bunch of them
making
seem really fun.
a new VR thing for PS5, and I would get that one because yeah, always get the second generation at least. Never get the
Yeah.
first generation. That
Yep.
fucks you over.
So, what you been playing?
I've played several things. Only one of which I think was really good. I finished Subnautica,
Mhm.
and it's only in the days since then that I've beaten it that I've really started to realize how much I was loving it, because I'm a little mad at every other game for not being like Subnautica.
Yeah.
Even completely different games, just because in retrospect, Subnautica managed to like capture this weird balance of completely opposing emotions and tones. Like, it was a very relaxing game, but then at times it could be really exciting and thrilling and scary. You know, when you encountered something new and frightening, when you're exploring someplace new. It was easy in that, you know, I was playing on the mode where survival mechanics were really lessened, so I didn't have to worry about starving to death. But it was also kind of challenging in that it did take a lot of kind of pre-planning to think about, okay, what do I want to do? How can I get myself to go deeper? Well, I've got to create a base in this place, and so I need to like look at all the things and not schedule, but like plan out. Okay, I need X number of resources so that I can just go to this location and immediately build everything that I need to do. And then it's a matter of just the constant planning of expeditions was really, really fun. And so even though I wasn't ever afraid of death, there was still a lot of like thought and planning challenge to the game. And so, yeah, it just managed to be all these completely contradictory things at the same time, like easy but challenging, relaxing but exciting. And and in retrospect, I'm almost not quite sure how it pulled that off. And holy shit, it can be played in VR. That really makes me wish I had a PSVR. And now that I have finished it, I'm on the hunt for a similar game. I know that they have a sequel out, and that's sort of at the top of my list. But I've also been looking at other survival games that aren't necessarily about the survival. What I thought was fun about Subnautica is, yes, there were these survival mechanics, but it was really more about exploring the ocean. Like, you were surviving and crafting with the intention of going deeper. You weren't just doing it to get through to the next day. And so I kind of wanted a game with some sort of narrative around it. And so I found a couple that I'm interested in that are like on my list, and I'll probably get eventually. But for now, yeah, I'm sad that it's over. It's one of those games a lot like the Outer Wilds, where now that I have finished it, I wish I could go back and play it again, but I know that it won't be the same.
Mhm.
So now I'm like looking for something similar. And yeah, Subnautica, man, you know what? I said it before a while ago. Not a game I ever would have played on my own. And like, it was a free game that PlayStation was giving away, and that's the only reason I have it. And I only started playing it because it seemed like something I could half pay attention to while talking to a friend. So many reasons like why I wouldn't normally play this type of game, but I'm really, really glad that I did, because yeah, this is one of the favorite games I've played in the first half of the year. I really just enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah, I can see it being totally just chill, and at the same time, you got to keep your mind on it. You can't just play it without. So were you playing it on a mode that allowed you not to die? You know, the non-survival mode.
Yeah, I could still die, but the punishment for death is not that severe. If I died, I would just appear at my last, air pocket location, whether it be a base, whether it be, and anywhere like that I was safe with air, and I would lose a small amount of the resources I had. And so sometimes that meant I could be carrying like 20 of a thing, and if I died, I would then respawn with 18 of a thing. And so it's like, okay, I didn't lose that much. That's fine. But the better thing is that there wasn't any food or hydration meter, because one of the things the game allows you to do is really focus on survival, in that you have to have water. You have to have distilled water. You can't just drink seawater. So you need to focus on finding a way to filter water and finding a way to eat, because there's a whole system of cooking where you can kill the fish and you can eat the fish, but if you kill the fish with like a heated blade, then that cooks it, and that gives you, that would help you more. So it's a lot of that, but those mechanics I wanted to avoid because they're just so what's the word? Like intrusive. I didn't want to have to worry about food every 5 minutes. That just kind of feels like a pain in the ass. And especially this game with the world being so interesting, I really enjoyed just being able to dive into the ocean and explore without being limited by food or thirst,
Right.
so I didn't have to, I could stay out for multiple days. The only thing that was limited is my oxygen and how deep I could go at any given time. But so I'm glad for that. And my one hesitancy with looking for other games like this is that I don't want to play a game that has those really intrusive micromanaging systems. Like I was looking at one called Breath Edge, which I thought sounded pretty fun, kind of like a Subnautica in space. And it does have food and hunger, but the reviews I read said that it's plentiful, it's everywhere, so you don't have to worry about it. But apparently also in that game, your basic tools can break. So, in Subnautica, I have a laser cutter, and it takes a battery, and I might have to recharge that battery every now and then. But the laser cutter, once I make it, I only ever need that one laser cutter. Whereas in Breath Edge, it sounds like your hammer, your chisel, your cutter, your flashlight, all that stuff can break, and you have to keep recrafting it, and that just kind of sounds like a pain. Like I just want to be able to explore a world. Not necessarily focus on surviving within it, but that's
Right.
like my weird specific tastes. And Subnautica managed to like hit that nail dead on.
Nice. So
So
I played Genesis Noir.
Oh yeah.
It was something that you recommended to me, that, I was saying that I needed an RPG hit off of that crack pipe. And it is so good. It is such a great game that I am trying to pull up the video right now. It is stylish to watch. It is a hell of a lot of fun. It's more puzzly than your average RPG. But the concept is it's a kind of a weird one to describe. You are everything is like an old film noir kind of situation, music wise, stylistically. You can see line drawings relying on black and white and yellow, and you are trying to solve a murder, but it's also an explanation of the Big Bang and how the universe came to be, and kind of taking those stories and putting them together in this allegory of a club singer named Miss Mass, and how she was murdered by her saxophonist Golden Boy. And it is
how the universe was created. That's just fact.
Right. And each chapter kind of gives you an explanation of what happened in the Big Bang from, microsecond to microsecond. You spend a lot of time figuring their chapters, and each of the chapters you have to kind of solve the mystery of what's going on. But it is the music is amazing. There's a rhythm section where you actually had to essentially, what was it? What's the name of that? Simon. Like it plays a song and you have to kind of match it in order to make a on a subway platform. And it's just every single puzzle is unique and interesting and varied in the way that it happens. Was just so good, and the art is absolutely beautiful. It's like playing art. It's everything about it is just so awesome. I can't. It's a short game, probably 10 hours tops if you like lollygag through it. But it goes through the history of the universe and civilization. And it is all just so deeply gorgeous. And so just,
yeah,
I mean,
it looks really
and
cool.
the music is so good. It's jazz and it is so good. It's just a great game to kind of, it's relaxing and engaging, and you don't feel like an onus to put your Spotify or your sound, like a playlist in there, because it's just so gorgeous. But yeah,
I definitely have to check this out.
oh, so worthwhile. It's one of, a lot of times you play games that are a distraction and you don't feel any better about yourself for playing it. This, you actually feel better about yourself for playing it.
Cool.
Much like Flower was at one point. But yeah, it's and God, I would have this if I had the money. I would just have this whole artwork playing like on a screen to put on my wall, because the art is so gorgeous.
It looks like in the chat, Sean said that it reminds him of the pink elephant's acid dream from Dumbo. It looks a lot like heaven, or I guess purgatory in Soul. Pixar's Soul that came out last year. The afterlife, like all of the afterlife beings kind of look like this. Well, like these 2D line drawings that are kind of abstract and move in interesting ways.
Yep. So essentially, I mean, you're seeing this on the screen. You wouldn't be seeing this audio wise, but you are trying to create a black hole in order to stop this murder from happening. The Big Bang being the shooting of a gun that kills Miss Mass by her lover, Golden Boy. It's a really weird acid trip. I know.
Who came up with that? How do you think I'm gonna explore the Big Bang through a noir murder scene?
Yeah. EC Ray says it's so good. Woman who hates instrumental noodling. No, yeah, I would. But you can see here's a screen where each chapter starts with an explanation of what happened next in the Big Bang. And then the puzzle kind of relates to it in a very impressionistic way.
Okay, that's cool. It kind of gives you a hint of like, this is what we're about, and then it gets into the surreal.
Right. Very surreal. different. Whatever direction you think it's going to go, it doesn't go that way. It's just so fantastic. So yeah, I would highly recommend, especially if you have Game Pass, because it is on Game Pass. It is free, and there is no reason not to get it for free. And I would say that this is worth the money.
Yeah. Feels like a very good Game Pass game in that it's the kind of game that you look at and think, is that worth it? The kind of thing you want to try because it's very different.
Yeah.
You'd hope there's some sort of demo, and with Game Pass,
Never
there's
played
no
a game
downside to trying.
anything like it before.
Cool.
It's completely unique in and of itself. I mean, it's a puzzler, it's an RPG, it's an art piece. It's really, really all its own.
Yeah, Sean also pointed out that Soul is also a very jazzy movie. And yeah, he wonders if there's some correlation between that sort of hard line aesthetic with jazz.
Well, I mean, it was that hardline aesthetic is very indicative of the 40s and early 50s. So it is an art style that is tied to a period and to a place, mostly New York. So jazz clubs, that kind of stuff. It's not I don't know exactly what the art style is called, but it is definitely a period of art that is a thing. Like from back in the day, the Hungry Eye, which was a club in San Francisco. God, I'm trying to see if I can pull it up. Hungry Eye.
Yeah, I was just like trying to find what the art style might be. Fundamentals.
Yeah, there's the Hungry Eye in San Francisco. But you can see it's that same kind of that hard line drawings. That was kind of the aesthetic from back in those days. So, yeah. So yeah, hey, we got Ryan Stevenson in the house. Hey, Ryan. Yeah, can't recommend it enough. Pick it up tonight. Play it tonight. So, what was your next game?
I started playing a game called The Spectrum Retreat, which is one that we've actually seen at PAX one time. And what I remember from the demo at PAX is that it is a Portal-esque game in that, it's a series of puzzle rooms. Except in this case, the puzzles consist of lots of manipulating colors in order to get past different colored walls. Blue key for the blue door, red key for the red door, that sort of thing. So you'll enter a puzzle room, and in certain areas, you'll see a transparent wall that's colored green. And somewhere in the level, there's like a big glowing cube that's glowing green. And you can kind of absorb that color into your, your device. And when you have that color on you, you can pass through that wall. And so a lot of the puzzles involve line of sight, taking a color from a cube, passing a color to a cube, doing that over and over again to move the colors throughout a level in order to get past all the walls.
A bit like Portal in that things have to be, I'm going to say a certain color, but you had to do things in order.
Yeah. And it's a neat concept, puzzle-wise. It's kind of frustrating how much it kind of keeps going back to this same well of solutions. In so many of the different levels, like there's always a goddamn hallway with alternating walls. So it's like a short hallway, and there's going to be a red wall, green wall, red wall, green wall, the exit. And in between each walls, there's a little tiny hole that you'll be able to look through to see a cube. And so a lot of the solution is, well, let me go through the level, taking color and finding a way to move the color from a block on the other side of the level to the block right next to this little tiny hole, so that as I go through this hallway, I can walk through the green door, look through the little tiny hole, get the red color from the cube, go through the red door, dump the color. And it's just that, like you in this video right now, he's got red door, green door, red door, green door. And it's all just a matter of, okay, how can I set colors along this hallway to allow me to switch between red, green, red, green, red, and green? And, it's neat the first time, but the game just kind of keeps doing it. And it's like, at a certain point, it just gets frustrating to go through the level and hit the same puzzle. Because, like, the cool thing about a Portal game, and it's the best of its imitators, are that each level, or at least every couple levels, mix things up. And, like, it's constantly throwing new gameplay twists at you that keep you on your toes. Was this one, even when it introduces a really cool teleport mechanic that allows you to, like, jump across huge gaps in huge parts of the level, even within those, there's still the hallway. And it's just a little frustrating to, like I said, to see it keep going back to that same well. And at a certain point, it feels like you keep returning to this one type of puzzle because you can't think of anything else. Even when the rest of the level is filled with different types of uses of the color, you keep returning to this one because it's just like a crutch, a puzzle crutch that the designers keep using over and over again, to the point that now whenever I get to that hallway, I kind of groan because it just feels like busy work. Like, I know what the solution is. The solution is put the colors in the right order so I can get past the wall. It's not like a brain teaser. It's just that it feels like busy work having to go, okay, let me get the green and then put the green in the right place. Let me get the red, put the red in the right place. And that's it. And that's a little frustrating.
It's a puzzle, but it's almost feels like a time waster.
Yeah. And like I said, it's neat the first couple times you do it, but 7th and 8th, it's just like, okay, like, fucking show me something new. Don't make me keep doing the same thing over and over again. Yes, the noir game, the art by Dizzy Gillespie. I heard people talk about that in relation to Soul as well. So yeah, good for bringing up that person, because that's what I was looking for. I had heard that name mentioned before.
Yeah, I'm pulling up. This is Dizzy Gillespie's art.
Yeah. And this is kind of it. The living lines I saw. That's what they talked about with Pixar. This isn't it. It looked briefly like it in the very beginning when there was a logo. Anyways, so the rest of the Spectrum Retreat, what's weird is a lot of the gameplay involves these puzzle rooms manipulating colors. A lot of the rest of the game has you in this weird hotel. And you wake up in this weird hotel, there's a knock at your door, and an android is there saying, breakfast is ready and it's served in the restaurant. And you go through the hotel, and eventually you kind of start talking to someone on the outside, and the hotel starts getting weird, and you realize that this is an abstract space, like it's a virtual space. And so the mystery becomes, where are you exactly, and why are you here? Like, the Spectrum Hotel is not real, but how did you get stuck here, and why don't you remember anything? And it's kind of, I'm interested in where the story's going, because it, surprisingly to me, I was not expecting this, it seems to be about healthcare. And there's like specifically a Trump-like figure who's like, we're taking away your health care because it's all fucked up. The last administration fucked it up. And now you can choose everything. Everyone can choose. And And then you also get a little bits here and there of like a doctor saying, "Oh, I'm sorry, your health insurance doesn't cover this." So this person, Robin, it's like, okay, who's Robin? Oh, Robin's in the hospital, but your insurance doesn't cover this. So, okay, it's got something to say about healthcare, which is not something I was expecting from a puzzle, a color manipulation game. But the problem with these hotel sections is that the hotel itself is just really big, and you move through it slowly. Like you can only walk, you can't run. And it's really frustrating at times when the actual layout of these floors are non-Euclidean, which means it's not a physical space. So, like, for example, if I'm at a three-way intersection, left, forward, right, and I go to the right, I'll emerge from the left hallway. Like, that's the kind of space it is, where it circles back on itself and doesn't make physical sense. And so there are still parts where one of the first things, like the woman in your ear, when she comes in, she says like, "Oh, find something out of the ordinary. Find something that stands out, but doesn't stand out so much that the androids might remove it." And it's like, what the fuck does that mean? What am I looking for? Another time she says, "Oh, go look for a door that has something that no other door has." What does that mean? And so you just end up slowly walking through this abstract space. Because it's abstract, you can't just go, "I'm gonna go down this hall, I'm gonna go on that hall, I'm gonna go to that hall."
You
It's
can't
not
break
that.
it down logically to do a
Yeah.
search.
So it's just like, well, I'm just gonna fucking wander these hallways for 5 minutes until I find a door that looks different. And it's just really frustrating and kind of lame. And there's so much backtracking because you have to go, from the elevator to a restaurant, but the elevator doesn't go there. So you have to keep walking through this lobby area over and over again. And at times it makes you go from the restaurant up some stairs to an elevator, take the elevator to the third floor, realize, oh shit, this door's locked. Take the elevator back down to the first floor, walk down some stairs, go back to the restaurant to find a code for the locked door, do all of that for a third time. And it's just so much slow backtracking over and over again across this space that is needlessly big. And it's just really frustrating. And at times it gets a little laughable when the person in your ear, because you're in this virtual space, and she's trying to like hack your way out of it. And she'll say something like, "Oh, they might be onto me. You have to hurry up to the third floor." I'm just casually walking. "Oh, they're almost onto me. Go faster." Walking. Walk.
There's no run.
No, there's no run. And I feel like a general rule of game design: don't tell the player to hurry up if there's no actual way for them to hurry up. Because I'm walking as fast as I can, and she's like, "You gotta go faster." It's like, well, no, I can't go faster, lady. Jesus. And so I'm enjoying the puzzle part of it enough that I want to keep playing to the end. I want to keep seeing what it's doing. But I also feel like for every interesting puzzle, it then falls back on that crutch of the hallways with the alternating doors. And for as interested as I am in the story and what it's going to say about healthcare, I have to keep navigating through this really open space, and just like it feels designed to just waste your time, and that's kind of frustrating. So for every positive, there's a negative, but I kind of want to see where it's all going. It's neat at least. And then the final thing I want to talk about is Ghost Runner. I was super high on Ghost Runner when I first played a couple weeks ago. And then I
Right.
kind of took a break from it to play through Subnautica because I really fell in love with Subnautica. I came back to Ghost Runner. I beat the final boss, and then there's a final platforming section at the very end, which is one of the worst platforming sections I have ever played any
Oh.
game. And it not only burned every ounce of goodwill I had for this game, but like every ounce of goodwill I had for the franchise in general. Like I don't want to play a Ghost Runner 2 because I have not beaten this game. I gave up on it and just stopped. What's so frustrating, it ends with a platforming section that feels like it's a spike in difficulty that's extreme for a game that was already, pretty tough. A game that's already about going through an area a bunch of times and dying. I ended up playing like the same 5-second section of game over and over again for an hour before I gave up. And what's frustrating about it is you have to wall run between two sections. So, so you're jumping from the left wall to the right wall, left, right, left, right, left, right. But you're in this abstract virtual space. And so the land isn't physical. And that means it can do things that just feel designed to mess you up. One of those is that the walls you're landing on are moving. So they're moving toward you while you're going towards them. That means that it's very easy to miss. If you aim at them when you jump, by the time you get there, you'll have overshot and you'll fly off. Because, oh yeah, each wall is like broken up. So they're not continuous walls. You've got a bit on the right, a bit on the left, a bit on the right. I guess on the video, it's a bit on the left, a bit on the right, a bit on the left, a bit on the right. Yes, this is it. This fucking place. And so it's difficult to jump between them because if you jump too soon, you'll get in front of it and miss. If you jump too late, you'll go past it and miss. But also because of the way that it's set up visually, it's very easy to kind of miss it. Like the game looks at it like these big bright orange things, but you kind of have to keep spinning your view. So it's hard to. It was hard for me to know that I was landing exactly where I wanted to land. That one section that the guy just passed, that was the section that gave me the hard time. I was not able to do it and I gave up. Now.
Oh, you just lost your audio, Nick. Yep, he has to reset his audio. So we're just going to sit here and watch all the things that Nick couldn't do. God, I just love this show, man.
Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay. So go back to the beginning some more.
Of that level?
Of that area. Cause here's the thing. I couldn't pass the first section of this because I think I watched this same video because I watched the guy do it and he did it so easily and I thought that's not physically possible. I couldn't do that. I just had so much difficulty with it and I eventually just gave up and stopped playing the game. And what made me not feel bad about that is I watched this video and I couldn't get past the first section of this huge platforming thing. Seeing what more they had just blew me away. Like what more crazy bullshit they came up with. I was like, well, if I couldn't pass step 1, this was the part right here, this specifically. And if I couldn't pass this, it only got harder from here. Like this guy makes it look so easy. And every now and then I could get through this and I would land on a jump pad and get to a same platforming section with the same bullshit, except now the walls were of varying lengths. So instead of just being able to go left, right, left, right, left, right, it's like left, right, left, right, left, right, left. And it's like, okay, that's just even more of a pain in the ass. And yeah, to watch this whole section and realize that it just keeps going. That even this guy who's doing everything perfectly, it just keeps going. And the fact that I had so much of a trouble on step 1 and that it just keeps going, I gladly gave up. And I have absolutely, some games when you quit them, they stick in your memory because you're like, I could have done that. Maybe
Right.
maybe I'll go back to it someday because I feel like I could do that. This one, I gave up, and seeing what else came ahead, what fresh new bullshit of hell awaited me, like this one, platforming on a not alternating walls but the same wall, I'm just like, no. If I had so much trouble with step one, all of this rest of the stuff is just gonna make me hate the game even more, and I didn't want to subject myself to that. Like I had a hard enough time going along the walls. Now he's going along the walls with giant ball lasers shooting at him. Like so yeah, it's always really sad when a game that you really enjoy kind of jumps to shock and goes off the rails in a way that completely leaves you behind. And that's kind of what Ghost Runner did. So that's unfortunate. I still think the beginning part of the game, even the beginning and middle, all the way through to the end, really fucking cool. Like just a cool, slick, awesome game. When it's all about that propulsive forward momentum that just gets you running forward without stopping, that's when it's cool. This part is like, nah, stop. Try to do weird bullshit platforming stuff, and that's kind of where it lost me. So. Yeah, that's sad. Sad for me. Sad,
Yeah.
sad week.
Yeah. That week. So, anything else before we hit the news?
That's mine.
All right. Bitter says that map is bullshit.
The Ghost Runner one, yes,
Yeah.
it is. It entirely is. Oh, fuck
And
that.
AC Ray says like the original Meat Circus and Psychonauts.
I never got to the Meat Circus, but I hear horror stories about it.
It was horrible.
And Bitters Plus
And
says that's the same reason I quit Trick Style for the Dreamcast. I don't know that game, but yeah, I sympathized with quitting it. Quitting. And AC Ray said right before that he doesn't understand why games put a difficulty spike at the very end. It's like, yeah, way to sort of salt the earth, salt all the previous good memories.
Yep. All right, so we're ready to hit the news.
Yeah.
All right, let's hit the news. This is the GameHounds news, the news, views, and commentary of the week in gaming with Gamer Edie and Nick DiNicola. And our first item is...
I have a good one. I guess we'll start off with the saddest piece of news, I think. And that's the author of the Berserk manga, Kentaro Miura, died earlier this month, not just this week. Died earlier this month at 54 years old, which isn't that old. But they just announced it this...
That's my age.
Yeah, like it's not old at all.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's just sad because he's
I guess
really
he had
a
heart defect that I don't know if they knew about it, but
yeah. Well, I know the manga took a
yeah,
hiatus.
he's like a half a year
for
older than I am.
several
He was born in July and I
times.
was born on December.
Oh wow.
Yep.
But yeah, he's best known for the manga Berserk, which kind of is a foundational dark fantasy manga, and so many things take inspiration from it now. Everything from like Final Fantasy to Dark Souls can kind of trace some of its visual style to Berserk. And yeah, both its art was really good, the story was really good, and yeah, it is highly unfortunate.
Yeah, it is very sad, and it anytime that you lose someone that is that seminal for a entire genre of art, that's sad. But to lose them so much younger than they should be lost, it's even more so. Yeah, there's a lot of people that are grieving over that. I saw that a lot of people on Twitter very upset.
Yeah, like everyone kind of expects George R. R. Martin to pass at some point because he's in his upper 70s at this point, isn't he? It's like 76, 77. Like that's kind of getting up there.
But yeah, he's due.
Yeah, yeah. Whereas someone at 54 is like, that's you don't expect them to die all of a sudden.
Yeah, it's a damn shame.
Mm-hmm.
And what's the next item is?
I can shift completely into something a bit happier.
Let's put that at the end. All right.
Okay.
I'll do my first item. My first item is, as soon as I can pull up my notes here. If you're a fan of Bethesda and you're a fan of Discord, get used to using a lot more Discord for Bethesda forums. A blog post made this week by Bethesda, which, they do everything from Wolfenstein to Elder Scrolls and everything in between. They're about to sunset their forums on Bethesda.net. They said that starting May 24th, which is what, tomorrow?
Yeah.
Yep, starting tomorrow, Bethesda's going to start closing their forums. They're going to start restricting access to new posts. And then on July 6th, beginning the process of actually shutting down the forums entirely and scrubbing them from the internet. So if you have anything that is on the Bethesda forums or you rely upon the Bethesda forums, you might want to get a screenshot of it because it's going away. You have 30 days to save any post contents you wish to want to keep once the forums are closed. So you've got a little bit of time, but I would start now. Bethesda isn't ending support, though. They are moving it. They are moving it to their official Discord server. They said, quote, "We'll be moving our conversations from the Bethesda.net forums to our official Discord servers, and that they'll continue to participate in an official capacity in Reddit discussions." So they're essentially decentralizing their forums.
So I'm curious what they get out of this, because Discord is neat and all, but it doesn't seem like a good tool for that sort of mass group of people.
No, and certainly for doing things like, hey, there's a bug.
Yeah,
Bug reports.
like the way Discord works, you can create different channels, but the average person can't create a channel. Like the average person, if I need help, am I just going to go into like the bug chat Discord and say, "Hey, I have a bug," and what? Who's going to respond to me? Or like even then, just engagement. If someone's like, "Oh, I'm really looking forward to Starfield," like they're just going to go into the Starfield thing and say, "Hey, I'm looking forward to this." But that's just a mass of people, right? It's one giant chat room, which kind of feels like it makes discussion a lot harder to follow when you have potentially hundreds of thousands of people trying to talk.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And Blood Reaper says, good luck with that. Yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
it's not unheard of. BioWare has done the same thing. They did that back in 2016 when they moved their forums to Reddit and Tumblr. But and they said they rely on game fixes and bug workarounds through the numerous fan-made wikis that are out there. So they're kind of offloading it. And I see the point of why they would be doing it. I'm sure it's very expensive to run those forums. And they're focusing on engagement, and it is way more engaging for most people to use Discord servers. That being said, I don't want to engage with them. I want to find out why shit's broken and what's the workaround. So also note one thing that I'm sure is very important to Corey Wallace. The Elder Scrolls Online are unaffected by this. They still have their Elder Scrolls Online forum because their forum is run separately from the wider Bethesda community.
Good on ESO.
So, yeah, ESO is at least staying up. But everything else that is Bethesda you're going to have to find your bug fixes through wikis and your solutions or your tips through wikis. And then any kind of interaction you might want to have with the greater community at large, you're going to have to go to Discord or to Reddit, but mostly Discord. Yeah, I don't know that it's a great idea, but I'm sure it saves them a ton of money.
Yeah, just hey, no longer have to host the forums.
Yeah,
Yay.
yay. No more like monitoring that shit, no modulating its, the content, no scrubbing it from, subversives and racists and everything else. Just all the bullshit gone away from their point of view, but they're possibly losing a bit of importance to the greater Bethesda community. And
Yeah.
also, I don't think that Discord is searchable by Google. Like, you don't find that shit by Googling anything that's directly from
No, because
in
it's
Discord.
not. There might be a web access to it. Like, I don't think you need to
There's
download.
web access. No, you don't have to download. You definitely web
Okay.
access because
Okay.
that's how I get onto onto Discord on my work computer to talk to you guys. Because I can do it through the web.
Okay.
But that being said,
Yeah, you can't search.
You can't, like, I'm looking for, bug, door bug XYZ game. It's not going to pull anything up from a Discord
Oh, there might
server
be because
on the search.
I've got it. I've got the desktop app open, and there is a search with search options where I can look for messages from a user. I can look for mentions of a user. I could search for content, like if it has a link. I could search before,
Right, but not
during,
through
or
Google.
after a specific thing.
Not
Oh yeah, not through
if you
Google.
do a Google search for this bug in this game in this chapter can't do XYZ, you're not going to get a link to anything put in a Discord server
Yeah, I
on
don't
that
think
Google
so.
search. So, and a lot of people might not recognize, not realize that there's no Discord,
Yeah.
Bethesda.net
I mean, I guess
forums anymore. They're
it would
all in
show up.
Discord.
It would show up on the wikis.
Right.
So often when playing Subnautica, I would search for, where to find X on Google, and it would give me a wiki from the
Right.
Subnautica wiki.
And it's, some of them are great, but not all games have wikis and not all wikis are very good. I mean, there is a quality question of these wikis.
Yeah. Especially because the wikis are all volunteer, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they're essentially offloading a
Yep.
lot of the customer engagement stuff to just fans. Like, do it yourself.
Yep. Absolutely. That's what they're doing. And Blood Reaper does say Bethesda now has more money to give to the top people. Yeah, that too.
Oh, yeah. Ton Howard's got to cash out.
Yep. So yeah, what else?
He's got to leave before Elder Scrolls 6 comes out.
Yeah. Next item.
And other interesting stuff. AT&T is basically spinning off all of its entertainment division. A couple years ago, AT&T bought Warner Media, and it was a whole big deal. Like, that's what gave us HBO Max, all that good stuff. AT&T regrets that decision and is now selling off its entertainment division to Discovery, but has a part of this. Like, this is like a huge shakeup in the whole streaming entertainment business. But for us specifically, that means that WB Games is actually getting broken up, because this is from Stephen Totillo on Axios. WB Games he said on Twitter, WB Games is getting broken up due to AT&T's Warner Media Discovery sale merger. Quote, some of the gaming arm will stay with AT&T and some will go to the new company. So there are 11 specific studios under the WB Games banner, and we just know that they are going to get broken up, but we don't yet know how. But this kind of puts a lot of their future games up in the air, like what's going to happen with the Suicide Squad game, what's going to happen with the Harry Potter Hogwarts Legacy game. And those are the two really big ones that they have announced at the moment. yeah, it's kind of confusing of like what happens if Microsoft suddenly decided to split up, or like if Bethesda was like, hey, half of Bethesda's going somewhere, half of them's going somewhere else, but you don't know yet. So kind of sucks for those developers who I imagine a lot of this is up in the air. And
Do we know who's going to be picking up WB Games?
nope. Well, I assume it will go to Discovery.
Oh, we'll go to Discovery. Okay.
Yeah, like it will be part of that new company. But at this moment we don't know what studios are going over and what studios are staying with AT&T.
Right. Yeah, well, we'll keep you posted here. When we find out, you'll find out.
Yeah.
My next item is let's do Take-Two. I'll do a twofer. One is that Take-Two made a shit ton of money this year. They had their full year financial results on a conference call. And their consumer spending was up 48% year over year. 64% of the company's total net bookings. And it was a larger share than ever before. NBA 2K and Grand Theft Auto Online were the biggest reasons for that. NBA 2K exceeded their expectations. They sold in more than 10 million copies in 2020.
Wow.
2021. They have 2.3 million daily players, and recurrent consumer spending was up 73% year over year. Grand Theft Auto, no different. They had sell-in reaching 145 million units. That was up only a scant 5 million from the year before, but from the last quarter, I'm sorry. But the online component, the record number of active players in the fourth quarter and recurrent consumer spending up 31% year over year to a new annual record. Red Dead Redemption 2 had a sold in of 37 million copies. Civ 6 had 11 million. PGA Tour 2K21 has reached 2 million. And Outer Worlds has surpassed 3 million in sales.
Wow.
So, yeah. They're making a shit ton of money. And the other half of my twofer on Take-Two is that Take-Two said this week that it plans to release 62 games through its 2024 fiscal year. So this is the 2022, then there's 2023, then there's 2024. So in 3 years, they plan to release 62 games.
I mean, that makes sense. What does that come out to? What's 62 divided by 3?
20, a little over 20. Slightly
like 21. Like if you count
not between 19 and 21.
Yeah, if you count small games and mobile games and spin-off things like that.
Immersive core games and independent games.
Yeah, like I could see that. 20 games a year. Because I imagine half of those are going to be things that just completely fly under all radar that we just completely don't notice, because
right.
It's like it feeds a section of the gaming entertainment that we kind of don't know anything about. You know,
right.
like the heavy mobile gaming stuff.
Yep, and they also announced 2 new releases of new franchises this year. And one of them will be from Gearbox. And it's going to be
franchises, they said.
New franchises.
Oh, new franchises. Okay.
New franchises, one of them from Gearbox. And it does kind of play into the fact that Randy Pitchford, head of Gearbox, semi-teased something during an earnings call a little while ago. It was not an earnings call on Twitter. He kind of teased some sort of activity on the Borderlands front, but wouldn't say exactly what. He said, He called it a Borderlands adjacent game. And then he also was when Take-Two announced this, he did go to Twitter and tweeted, that's a quote, HMMM ...
I kind of feel like I want to see Gearbox do something that's not Borderlands.
Not gonna really happen. It's too big a game for them. It's just it's why they've created this universe. That's like saying Lucas should really do something other than Star Wars. Why? It makes money. Everybody loves the universe. Well, a lot of people love the universe. No reason to, reinvent the wheel when the wheel is turning perfectly fine and paying money.
Yeah,
to you
but
for it.
you can overuse that wheel. You got to replace the wheel every 1,000 miles or so because it gets worn down. You can't just reuse the same wheel over and over again.
Well, it does speak to the longevity of Gearbox, because if they're not creating new IPs, if they're doing everything Borderlands adjacent, and only working within that universe, eventually that universe is going to get tapped out. They have to have something else to kind of back that up. That's, that is the bonus of having big studios that most big studios do. They've got 3 or 4 different IPs that they know that they can kind of reach in and do what they want. And if everybody gets tired of Wolfenstein, they know that they could play, not Wasteland.
Doom?
No, what's the New Vegas?
Fallout.
They know they can do Fallout. And if everybody gets tired of Fallout, then they can do, Elder Scrolls.
Something else.
They've got a number of things to kind of keep people kind of, teased for their studio. And Gearbox doesn't really have that many IPs of the size and stature of Borderlands.
Yeah, like they hit on that big one, and then to be fair, for a while there, they tried to branch out, but everything kind of bombed.
Okay, best AC Wraith link ever. Bitters says, Nick's video is tweaky. AC Wraith tweets a link to Buck Rogers fandom wiki for Tweaky the robot. And of course, Bitters was like, beady, beady, beat. Okay, Buck. Fucking hated that robot. You can say thank you. I fixed that robot.
Thank you.
Yeah, I fixed that robot.
Okay, thank you.
I told you that story, right? That I was a Nielsen family for Buck Rogers when I was like
no
10 or 11. I know I've told you this. I know I've said it on the show. Okay, so my mom gets a phone call one night from a pollster from Nielsen who wants us to watch Buck Rogers that night, and they would call us back and poll us because they wanted to have permission, because they wanted to talk to Ian and to me because we were kids. And we watched Buck Rogers, and then they called us, and I remember having a telephone conversation with a nice lady. And she said, what did you like about the show? What didn't you like about the show? And I said, I fucking hated the robot. I didn't say fucking. I said, I hated the robot. The robot is stupid. He keeps talking. He is awful. You need to make that robot shut up because he's not cool. He's stupid. And the next season, Tweaky was silent. He got rid of all of the sidekick beady beady beat. Okay, Buck. Yeah. The comic relief, the bad comic relief. That was me. It was me and my brother telling him that Tweaky was stupid.
Yeah, like AC said in the chat, you said about being Nielsen family, but not about Buck Rogers specifically.
That was Buck Rogers. It was the only time we ever were a Nielsen family was when it was over Buck Rogers in the 21st century. Yep. And I
That's
guess we
cool.
were the core audience. We were the core age group that they were aiming for. And they thought that we would think that Tweaky was cool, and he was not. And I made sure that they knew. I was like, hated Tweaky.
He's the original Poochie.
He is the original Poochie. And the next year, Tweaky was completely toned down. He just kind of took orders and said, "Okay, Buck," and then walked out of the room. They got rid of all the comic relief.
I feel like they just went from one extreme to the other. Like,
Yeah,
there is a middle ground.
They couldn't fix him. Well, because they couldn't fix him. They just couldn't. They didn't have writers that knew how to write. So
okay, that's a bigger issue.
Yeah. So yeah, you can thank me for fixing Tweaky.
Oh, good. Thank you for fixing Tweaky.
So Bitter says, since Microsoft will be publishing Fallout for the future, will new Fallouts be better or worse?
I feel like you flip a coin.
I mean, that kind of is the big question. I think that Microsoft has more money, but they also have less patience for shenanigans.
We've said this. I don't remember what our bet was specifically. Someone needs to remind us, because I said that we're not going to see Elder Scrolls 6 until like either 25 or 26. And you were like, no, it will be way earlier. It'll be way earlier. And I don't remember what the specifics of that bet were.
I think it's going to be way earlier.
Yeah, it's not. It's not.
You don't think so?
No.
Yeah, I think that they have to have yeah, and I remember that conversation because I said they have to pay the nut on this.
Yeah, no.
They have a huge nut that they need to cover in order to make that Bethesda thing profitable.
Yeah. Bethesda's like, nah. No. Oh, you want Elder Scrolls 6? How about Starfield?
It's just like Elder Scrolls 6.
That's super exciting.
Only different. Real different.
How about a Fallout 76 expansion? or and this will segue into the next news story. How about Evil Within 3?
Sure.
And apparently Evil Within has it's basically what's the word for it? The not copyright. Fuck, what is it now? The trademark has been re-registered for continued use, specifically for continued use. So that could mean like, maybe we're getting a remaster. Maybe we just want to hold on to the trademark. Maybe there will be a 3.
Just holding on to the trademark. That's what you say is continued use.
I'm kind of interested because on a podcast I listened to called Waypoint, the Vice gaming podcast, one of the members there started playing the first Evil Within and was like, this is kind of a neat game. I can see some potential, but And one of the other hosts was like, fuck, skip it. Skip it and go straight to 2. Just do it. Do yourself a favor. And eventually he did exactly that. And on the last podcast, he was just like praising Evil Within 2 up and down to the point that it actually got me really excited and thinking maybe I should play Evil Within 2. And one of the hosts was like, it's a real damn shame that we're not getting Evil Within 3 because the first game was second game was so much better, but because the first game was so the much better second game didn't sell that well. And so that's why the franchise hasn't continued. And so, there's a super strong contingent of Evil Within fans that because Evil Within 2 was so good, there's like, 3? It's going to be 3? Come on. So,
hey, if you want Evil Within 3, you buy Evil Within 2 and start playing it. If they start seeing those numbers, those come in, they might actually consider it.
Just check it out on Game Pass.
They're just holding the Evil Within trademark. That's not
because
check on Game Pass.
It is a Bethesda game. I think Evil Within is. I think 2 is on Game Pass. I think Evil Within 1 is not on Game Pass.
Well, you don't want to play that anyway.
Exactly. It is a Bethesda game. So yeah, I'm very tempted to check it out on Game Pass.
So yeah, but I wouldn't read anything into them doing that. That continued use thing is a standard boilerplate phrase that you need for trademark protection.
Oh,
Because if
okay.
somebody else,
In the chat, AC Wraith says, Andrew claimed Elder Scrolls in 3 years or less. Nick said 5. And we must have said that last year?
probably.
Like, that's probably 2020. So, okay, that means I said 2025 for Elder Scrolls, and Andrew assumed 2023.
I think
Andrew-
we're going to get.
Andrew's going to lose that bet.
Yeah,
Andrew's
I'll
totally going to
take
lose the bet.
4. I'll take 4. I won't take 3 at this
Now,
point.
I still think 2025 at the earliest for Elder Scrolls 6. At the earliest. So, okay, someone write this down. Nick says Elder Scrolls. Fuck, I'm writing it down. Where's a pen?
There's post-it note. We should just have a whiteboard of post-it notes of all our predictions.
Nick says.
Oh God, AC Wraith, you are so awesome. It's in it. The original assertion is in GameHounds episode 564. Episode 564 is when he said it.
What was your prediction?
I say 4 years.
You said 2024?
Yeah. 2024 fiscal year.
2024.
Which is 2024, early 2025.
This is such a cheater.
If it came out in the fiscal year for the 3rd year, Andrew would absolutely claim it. All right, there we go.
There. Nick says ES6 2025, Edie 2024 fiscal, Andrew 2023. I'm going to keep this in front of my monitor.
Bitter says Team Nick. AC Wraith says September 27th, 2020 was when it was set.
That was the date. God damn.
He's so good.
He is our search bar.
We should make a search that's just called an AC Wraith. Just compete with Google.
That's the site, AC Wraith.
There we go. Nick says 2025 for Elder Scrolls. Now you can just refer to the chat log. Okay.
Yeah. Cool. He's gonna sit in front of my monitor until one of the cats moves.
Until the cat moves it.
And then
it's lost forever.
Fair.
All right. So next item.
This is one for Blood Reaper. He put this in Discord earlier in the show, and it's kind of a fun, sad story. PS5s are kind of hard to get.
Mm-hmm.
One woman in Japan is being arrested for fraud after people bought PS5 console from her on eBay.
Oh, right. I heard that.
And instead ended up getting bottled water. Specifically 2-liter bottles of water.
Yep.
And her defense, which is brilliant, best defense is she claims that she, quote, sent my luggage, but I don't remember what I put in it. So
they don't take that stuff lightly in Japan at all.
Yeah. It's also interesting that this is specifically in Japan. Hey, America's not the only place where it's hard to find a PS5. It's everywhere.
It's a worldwide shortage that they say that is not going to be done with until after 2022.
Yeah.
Between the scalpers and the chip shortages, it's going to be years before that's a thing. So, my next item is this my last item? It is my last item. So, Epic versus Apple. The testimony wrapped up on Friday with Tim Cook. So the whole thing was bookended, starting with Tim Sweeney, ending with Tim Cook.
Battle of the Tims. I just realized
Battle
that.
of the Tims. It is.
Tim versus Tim.
And we should just call it Tim versus Tim, but it is Epic versus Apple. So he was the last person to take the stand in all testimony. It's going to go to the judge on Monday. And there was a lot of testimony about the issues of side loading, side loaded apps. And he was talking about, they've been sticking to that kind of argument that it's not a monopoly, and we need to have controls on the App Store simply because side-loaded apps can be a threat to we ensure iPhone owners have privacy, that they're not loading malware, but more importantly, that they are not sexually explicit, so that you could hand your iPhone or your iPod to a kid and know that they're not going to be downloading porn apps.
Won't someone think of the children?
Yeah. But he actually really hammered in on the privacy issue about how Apple, of all things, is protecting your privacy. He said, quote, "Privacy from our point of view is one of the most important issues of the century, and safety and security are the foundation that privacy is built upon. Technology has the ability to vacuum up all kinds of data from people. We like to provide people with tools to circumvent that. If they allowed side-loaded apps, that would remake the iOS entirely, and it would be much easier for people with either bad intents or with intents selling stuff that shouldn't be sold on an iPhone, that will either vacuum up your data on your phone, or that would expose younger users to content that they shouldn't be exposed to. It'd be very hard for them to monitor that and to ensure that your phone is safe." He said that giving users control of what goes on their iPhone creates risk, and that people choose iOS specifically so they won't have to make risky decisions with their sensitive data. They know that their phone is safe. And that is not entirely bullshit. One of the things about iPhone that makes iPhone so appealing to a lot of people is that you can't fucking break into it, and your information on your phone is secure. If there was any concern that your data on your phone was at all at risk, people would think twice about getting an iOS, and people actually specifically get an iOS because they know it's secure.
Mhm.
That fucking the US government can't even break into a terrorist's iPhone.
They can.
You can't break it. Well, they can, but they had
Yes.
to go through a lot of machinations in order to do it.
Yeah, I don't remember what the name of the company was, but I know it came out a couple months ago, like the actual name of the company that broke into the iPhone of that terrorist. That was a big deal several years ago.
Yeah. But it was a thing like Apple wouldn't even give them the key. Wouldn't give the government the key.
They
specifically because they're like,
pissed.
no. Our phones are safe. We don't give that key to fucking anyone. We don't care what the reason is. We don't give that key because it would diminish the value and the trust of iOS, which is what everything is built on. So, if we're getting any indications at this point, some of the legal watchers of how Judge Yvonne Gonzalez-Rogers, who's the judge that's going to be ruling on this and starting in on Monday, we don't know how long it will take for her to render her decision, but it is with her. It's going to be handed to her for consideration as a case on Monday. Sometimes you can get inclination of what the judge is thinking simply by the questions that the judge is asking. And some legal watchers are saying it's not looking good for Epic, at least from the just looking at the questions that she's asking. She hasn't really had much interest in discussing in-app purchases. She had a lot of questions about discussing in-app purchases, anti-steering provisions, and the structure of an individual apps like Roblox. But she really didn't ask about third-party app distribution and sideloading, which is kind of the core of what Epic's case is. It doesn't necessarily indicate how she's going to rule, but it does kind of give you an idea of what may be in her mind of the important factors in apps, or in this case, what she needed, what rabbit hole she kind of wanted to fall down into that was front in her mind. So we'll see. But it's all out there. It's one of those rare situations when two mega corporations go through the whole discovery and through the public trial, and everything's out on display, and everybody's looking at your knickers and seeing all the old emails. So we've got it all now. And we'll see how this changes, or if it all changes, iPhones and the iOS and the App Store.
Yeah.
What will Epic do if they lose? Will this change anything for them?
I don't think so, because what we saw...
Will they launch their army of loyal 14-year-olds on someone else now?
I don't know, because like we saw a couple weeks ago, one of the revelations from this is that they didn't really make much money off of iOS. Shockingly enough, most of their money came from the console versions of Fortnite. So maybe they will like come back to Fortnite, tail between their legs, and just, hey, look, it's back on Fortnite. We have to give Apple a cut.
They're not the go sat quietly into that good night kind of company. They're the YOLO types. They're going to throw M80s and half sticks of dynamite as they're, exiting out, going out in a blaze of glory. That's more them. I
think so. I
want them to lose just so I could see what they do.
I don't think that they'll M80s everywhere to try to burn huge bridges. Like, if they lose, it's just like, well, shit, we lost. May as well just put Fortnite back on iOS. Like, we'll lose this cut, and that sucks. But at this point, that's the way it is. Maybe they'll try to appeal it. That would probably be the next logical step.
Yeah. Flood Reaper says no, they would throw full sticks at that. I might not have sticks. I was just remembering my own history of my YOLO days back when Tijuana was way more fun.
You only threw half sticks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Rent a car in Tijuana and then just
blow it up.
Get a no. You just drive around in the hills of Mexico throwing half sticks of dynamite out behind the car. The 80s were fun.
The good old
days. 80s were fun.
How did we survive to the 90s?
I don't know. It's kind of funny. I went to a dinner a dinner with a friend of ours on Thursday. And it was one of Kevin 1.0. The first Kevin.
Okay.
Yeah. So if you aren't aware of Kevin 1.0 and Kevin 2.0, I dated Kevin 1.0 and lived with him. He lived here in this house. Kevin 1.0 and I lived together for 3 years. And then I said, so where's this relationship going? And he moved out the next day. He moved a block down the street, but he moved out. Kevin 1.0 and Kevin 2.0 were best friends in high school. that is how I met Kevin 2.0, my husband. And it was not like I was anticipating this happening. I contacted him for something else. And we ended up kind of becoming friends. And then we were like, oh, do we want to start this relationship? This is going to be a little weird because you dated Kevin and it's just odd. My best friend was Kevin 1.0's other girlfriend from high school. So it was like this very nepotistic little group. But Kevin 1.0 is now living in Idaho and married and has kids. And he came out to visit and we had dinner together. And he's got a 14-year-old and an 11-year-old. And he's like talking about how difficult it is to have kids that age because he's trying to convince his kids that they weren't the kids that they were when they were 14. Like, like somebody does something and it's like, shit, I did that in high school. It's like, I know, so did I, but don't tell them that. And that's one of the reasons why I didn't have kids. I don't want to have to lie to them about
Stop throwing dynamite. I never
throwing
threw
dynamite
a
out the back of a
in
rented
my
car
life.
in Mexico.
I have never held dynamite, lit dynamite. I don't know who's telling you these stories.
Sitting in the back seat sitting in the back seat with the bucket seat lowered all the way back flat, driving through like off-road in Mexico with your feet lighting drunk.
Naturally.
Very drunk. Lighting half sticks of dynamite on a cigar and a Cuban cigar and throwing it out the window. We were. Oh.
Thank God he didn't drop it. Oh shit.
Right. There was a couple of moments when it got dropped, but fortunately everybody was moved pretty quickly.
Good.
We did not have that moment. But yeah, no,
I feel like this was in a Jurassic Park movie. Like just add a dinosaur chasing you, and this is straight out of that.
Yeah, like playing because me and a bunch of guys from college and a couple of girls, we were all very good friends, just friends. And the girls in the back seat Rochambeauing to try to figure out who was going to give the blowjob to the cop if we get caught.
How many people were actually in the back? How many people could fit in the back there?
We had a big car. There was 2 guys in the front, and then the seat was back, and then the 3 of us in the back. We were all just piled on top of each other. We were
okay. 3 people in the back of a pickup. I can imagine. I thought those sounded like there was way more.
No. This was a car, actually, a car.
Oh, a car, not a pickup.
It was a car. No, it was
so
a car.
Okay, so wait, how are you throwing stuff out the back? Is the window
because
not
we had
there?
all the windows down. We had all the windows down.
Oh, so you're going out the passenger window and throwing it?
Yeah, throwing out the passenger window because we had one guy that was really tall. He was 6'4", so he could reach the steering wheel by sitting on the headrest. And yeah, well, I mean, it was those back in those days, the bucket seats laid out flat like that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so all the seats were flat. It's a 4-seater. It's a sedan. Okay. Oh, geez.
We essentially made it a big playroom.
Gotcha. Yeah, all
just
the seats
lowering
down.
all the seats, and so it was just one big room that we all just kind of were sitting in.
And so you lighting dynamites on the inside of a car, then reaching out the window and throwing it behind you.
Right. We'd filled the footwells with ice and had thrown all the beer into the footwell. So you just reached down to grab a beer into the footwell.
That's even more chaotic than what I was imagining in my head.
AC Ray says Marty McFly's mom. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, kid, do not do this at home. Do not do that in Tijuana. You cannot do that shit anymore. But back in the 80s, you could totally do that. Do that crap. Kevin 1.0 is not a potato farmer. It is something I can say authoritatively. He is actually a business owner. Believe it or not, he is a respectable, upstanding guy with 2 kids.
he owns a potato farm and hires potato farmers.
No, he owns a computer store of a very famous computer store. Let's just say
I don't know. I feel like Idaho is
I don't
only
want to
potato
out
farmers.
1.0 too much.
I'm just saying Idaho is only potato farmers. There's literally nothing else there.
Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
Somebody's got to somebody's got to, sell the potato farmers computers.
Yeah, I had hash browns this morning. Someone has to make those. Those don't just come out of nowhere. There's no potato fairy.
All right, can we move on from my misspent youth, please?
With the cigar too. I can't.
So unbelievably drunk. So yeah, and of course, back in those days there was the donkey show. That was a real thing in Tijuana. Had to do the donkey show before.
Okay, wait. I feel like I've heard that before, but I don't remember what that is. I've heard that term before.
Haven't you watched what was the Kevin Smith movie in where it was taking place in the inside the fast food restaurant?
Clerks?
Wasn't Clerks inside a because Clerks was inside of it. Well, that was a convenience store.
Was it Clerks
No, this
2?
was the one. Maybe Clerks 2 is the one that was actually in the convenience store, not in the fast food restaurant.
That was probably Clerks 2. Okay,
Yeah.
AC Wraith, woman plus donkey, nuff said.
Mm-hmm.
I remember this scene now.
What was it? Somebody in her stud? Yeah.
Anyways. Yeah, I'm trying to think of a segue away from Donkey Show, and I don't think there is one.
John Walker, who says, this recollection of past fun has prompted me to speak. Longtime lurker, podcast listener from day one and around the 80s, albeit in the UK. Yeah, life was a lot more fun in the 80s. But boy, yeah, it's
driving
amazing.
Around the
any
UK
of us
somewhere
survived.
throwing dynamite out the window?
Very glad it was pre-smartphone. Yeah. Yeah.
See, the problem with today is that any kids doing that would put it on TikTok, and then it's just easy to track them down.
Right, exactly. I mean, when my brother and I were kids, we made a bomb in the backyard and blew it up and blew out all the windows in the neighborhood. You can't get away with shit like that. I've told you that story.
I think you might have, but
about building the dog shit bomb out of a 50-gallon drum.
Dog shit bomb.
Yeah, we built a dog shit bomb out of a 50-gallon drum.
Did it blow out dog shit like shrapnel?
The dog shit was what we used to create methane.
Oh, okay.
And didn't go off. And then we went and said, Daddy, yeah. He goes, how do you make a bomb? He goes, well, you need something that catches fire easily. Okay. And you need to ignite it. Okay. And it needs to be under pressure. Oh, thanks, Dad. Bye. Went across the street, rolled the 50-gallon drum over to the gas station across the street. Yeah, we lived in a really bad part of town. Rolled to the gas station across the street and pumped that thing full of air until it couldn't take any more air. And then we set that thing off and blew out every window in the neighborhood.
Impressive.
Yeah.
That is kind of better than where I thought the story was going. I thought you were going to go to your dad and say, like, Dad, we made a bomb and it didn't go off. So,
and my dad goes, oh, here's what you need.
No, and so now you just have a live dud? I don't know. You have an unexploded landmine in your backyard and it's like, shit. Is it on the timer? What's going on? Wow. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
You had a
we would
a
do
very
shit like
explosive
that.
childhood.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
would do crazy ass stuff like that. We would dig holes in the backyard. And when I say holes, I mean holes in the backyard. Like 10 feet deep and then fill them with water.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Compared to a bomb and dynamite, that's like, oh, have fun, kids.
We were terrifying children to be left alone. This is why I do not have children, because I mean, Kevin blew off his eyebrows with a was a phosphorus bomb.
I
Yeah,
do kind of remember you saying about that.
yeah, he built a no, it wasn't Kevin, it was Eric, his best friend. They built they made a phosphorus bomb in the front yard, in their front of their house, in the driveway. And yeah, it didn't go off, and so Eric went to go see why it didn't go off and leaned over the top of it, and it blew up in his face and burnt off all his eyebrows. They would fill bags with lighter fluid and light them in the house. Plastic bags. Oh yeah, the 80s were fun.
Yeah, I just had played video games. That was my childhood.
We didn't need video games. We were the video game.
you were the basis of GTA.
Pretty much. Yeah, 80s kids could definitely get away with stuff. Do not do any of that shit at home. It is dangerous, and the cops don't walk away laughing like they did back then. Anything else?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Hey, there's console sales news. Speaking of, I don't know.
All right, console sales news.
Yeah. I guess this is from VGC. Basically, during Q1 of this year, Microsoft sold 1.3 million Xbox Series consoles. That's combining
only 1.3 million. That seems low.
Yes, combining the X and the S. Sony more than doubled that with 2.8 million.
Yeah, that makes more sense.
So Sony has so far PlayStation outsold the Xbox by more than double. But Nintendo has outsold both of them combined with 5.86 million Switches.
Right, but the Switch was out for the entire year and wasn't
No, but
suffering.
this is just the measure of Q1 of this year.
Oh, Q1 of this year.
Yeah,
probably because you can get a Switch, you can't get a Series X or S or a PlayStation 5.
Sure.
And they don't have production issues. They've got tons of those. Switches
I know.
They've got warehouses full of them.
It's just worth noting that, like, hey, console winner is the console that no one is necessarily like shouting about.
Right. I really should get a Switch. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm having a hard time, playing both of my consoles that I have. Like if I play the Xbox, then I'll ignore the PlayStation. Honestly, not gonna lie, I love Game Pass. I like the PlayStation console much better. If it weren't for Game Pass, I would not be turning on my Xbox.
Yeah, I find myself playing the PlayStation way more. But I think part of that might just be due to force of habit. Like I had PlayStation 4 but didn't have an Xbox, and so I was like, yeah, I'm just used to turning on the PlayStation. But yeah, other than I mostly just use the Xbox for Game Pass, which is not a bad situation.
It's not a bad situation, but it does point up the allure and the wise decision that it was to have Game Pass. Is that if Sony had that version, had a Game Pass equivalent, it would be game over.
Well, I mean, Microsoft,
but they don't need to, because obviously they're selling more than PlayStation. Yeah,
Microsoft
although
doesn't
it's hard to.
actually have any Xbox Series X exclusives, right? Like they don't have any. PlayStation had at this point they have Spider-Man, they have Dark Souls, they have Returnal.
But that's going to change with the Bethesda situation. That is
If,
absolutely
yes,
going to change.
eventually, but it makes sense that now more people would want the PlayStation because there's kind of more reason for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I having played a lot of hours of Ghost of Tsushima on the PlayStation and having played a lot of hours of other stuff on the Outriders on the Xbox.
Yeah,
Not saying I mean, those are totally different games. This is not a review of the game. I just like the layout. I like the UI of PlayStation better. I like the controller of PlayStation better. I just like the whole experience of the console itself is much better for PlayStation. But that Game Pass, it's hard to argue with. Really is.
yeah, indeed.
So anything else?
Yes. Speaking of Game Pass, Microsoft closed a loophole that allowed you to get a month of Game Pass way cheaper. So this comes from twistedvoxel.com. When EA Play was introduced as part of the Game Pass Ultimate subscription, there was a loophole where you could redeem a year of EA Play at $30 for 4 months of Game Pass Ultimate. So basically, you'd be getting Game Pass for half off because it's $15 a month now. So that would be $30 for 2 months, and now you're getting $30 for 4 months. And they have now closed that loophole. So you can no longer do that, which makes sense. Kind of sucks, but yeah. It's a good deal, and they've got to keep finding a way to close those loopholes. I'm glad that I got all my like Xbox Live converted into Game Pass for like 3 years because $15 a month is not
a
cheap.
small amount.
So it's a good bundle, like good cost benefit ratio, but you know, it's also a lot, and I can understand people trying to find loopholes.
Yep. And our last item is
this is just kind of a fun one. No Man's Sky added things called expeditions a while ago. And they task you with completing certain milestones and give you a unique reward at the end. And the reward for a recent expedition is basically the Normandy from Mass Effect. So you can get the Normandy ship from Mass Effect in your No Man's Sky game, which seems really cool and kind of makes me want to play No Man's Sky. Yeah, part of me wants to go back to No Man's Sky just because it is sort of Subnautica-like, but
it very much is Subnautica.
At this point, it's a brand new game from what I know.
Yeah. I might go back to it. That might be fun, especially because there's multiplayer involved. We could actually go in and drop into each other together.
Yeah, we could. Maybe we should. But yeah, that's just kind of a cool addition. Like, there are so many neat space games and space things. Why not get those ships into No Man's Sky? That seems like a good cross promotional.
I wonder how much it cost them to get that in there. How much they had to pay to have it done. You know, pay for the rights.
I don't know.
For it.
EA might be a little desperate for some goodwill. Like, it's, you know, Mass Effect's legacy is kind of tarnished. You know, let's get some goodwill out there in addition to the game. Maybe.
All right. So anything else before we shut down this show? Any other tales from my childhood, my misspent youth?
Yeah. What else did you blow up?
I didn't really blow up that much. That was pretty much all the bombs that I had to do, dynamite and bombs.
Okay.
I mean, there was the flushing the M80s down the school toilets. Yeah.
That's less unique, I guess I'd say. Like, that's
Yeah,
a thing
who
everyone
didn't do
knows
that?
about. Yeah. Flushing M80s down the toilet, not quite on the same level as throwing dynamite out of a car in Mexico
Yeah.
and blowing out the windows with a poop bomb.
I mean, you have to remember this. We were the generation that played around. Like everybody I knew had a jar of mercury. We would play with mercury. Like, ooh, check it out. It's kind of cool.
Like on your palm?
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that if I ever have somebody check my liver, it will come up. It will fluoresce. It will glow. My liver will glow in the dark. Yeah, no, it is. It is. The reason I think that people my age are so hard on teenagers is because we know the shit that we did, and we got into so much worse shit than our parents did. It's like we were the worst generation. If, my parents in the World War II were the best generation, we were the worst. We were the, just real pieces of shit. We wrecked it for you guys. And no, I'm not a baby boomer. I am a Gen X. And okay. Generation X fucked it up for everybody.
Just boomers destroyed the environment and politics. Gen Xers
and
did
Social Security.
Culture.
Right. And we just wrecked your childhoods.
Mm.
Yeah, we were bad kids.
Makes sense. It's the cycles, right? The cycle of prosperity leading to lax stuff and all that. We'll come back around to it again. By the time Elder Scrolls 6 comes out, that generation will be back around to setting off bombs in Mexico.
Well, I don't know if they're going to set off bombs in Mexico, but they'll be driving down the freeway in their back of their Tesla, waving at people. That's already happening.
They'll be driving down, Highway 66 in the wastelands of America, throwing half sticks of dynamite out here.
Yeah.
And you're right.
There's a reason why my generation invented Burning Man and started out with things like the drive-by shooting booth. I have shown you videos of that, right?
Not the drive-by shooting booth. I've seen the real Rock'em Sock'em robots. I've seen the real Thunderdome. What else was it? Yeah, not a drive-by shooting. Bitters Plus says he used to roll glass bottles onto the road so cars can drive over them and bust the tires.
Yep. So this is a vintage video.
So I will say, to be fair, the most me and my friends did is roll plastic bottles of soda out onto the road to watch them explode when cars ran over them. That is the less extreme version of that. Yeah,
so this was, oh God, like early days of Burning Man. But when Burning Man looked like this, there was nobody there.
No, like helicopters floating in, like no people with air-conditioned RVs.
No. This is what Burning Man started out being.
This is fucking Mad Max. This isn't Burning Man.
Yeah,
dude just standing there with a 6-shooter in the desert.
Yeah, that was how Burning Man was. That was the original one, and it was all fun and games till somebody set off a propane tank bomb, and then they got serious. But yeah, they would line that stuff up, and then they would just do a drive-by shooting gallery.
I see. So they set up things like a Barney stuffed animal, a Simpsons T-shirt, and then they pull up in a car. You shoot the targets, and then you drive away.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Everybody gets in the back of a pickup truck or the roof of a pickup truck with their fully automatic rifles and just shoot the shit out of things as you drive by. Or bicycle by.
Dude on a bike.
Skeet shooting with golf balls.
I still like the bike poor man's drive-by.
Yeah, it was crazy days back then. No, I did not go to Burning Man back then, but I would have completely wholeheartedly supported it. I was there the year that the fun went away. With the when this guy set off the propane tank bomb. It was just a street or two over. And yeah, that was a big bomb. And then the ATF showed up, and the FBI and a bunch of other people, and that's when things got real.
Yeah.
But the Barney the
makes sense.
dinosaur, there you go. Here's what happens.
Oh shit,
you can
Barney,
tell
that was tiny.
Yep, but that's okay. We took care of it. They just shoot the crap out of Barney.
So when did it go from this to, leave no evidence of you being there? We're gonna filter the grains of sand to see if you've left any beads behind, and then get on your case if you left a bead behind too. Yeah, shoot this stuffed animal in the desert.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's probably, I would say, let's see, probably 1997, 1996 is when they started getting serious about cleaning, because that's when they went from a couple thousand people in the middle of the desert to like 10,000 people. I remember my first year, or my second year, was 19,000 people, and we were like, it can't get any bigger than this. It just can't.
Huh.
It's 19,000 people is too much. And now it's what? 60,000 people?
Yeah.
70,000 people? So it's, yeah.
Guys, it makes sense.
This is back when it was like 2,000 people.
As it gets bigger and bigger, you need an organization to actually organize and structure. Okay, we need to lay out a small city. We need a city organizer. Circle it all around to the beginning of the podcast.
Right. They had a DPW. They created a DPW to create roads, and then they had to ban vehicles on the roads because people would get drunk and drive around and run over people in tents and kill them. That's when they got rid of roads, and it became far more structured as needs required, because it got up to, when you get up to 20,000 people, it becomes serious shit. It's not just everybody get high and drunk anymore.
Yeah. It becomes a city or a town.
AC Ray said the most I ever did was throw rocks between telephone wires and then have some idiot driving by claim I threw the rocks at her car. My mother acted like she was punishing me to not get sued. I'll never forget the betrayal.
Betrayal, man. She was on your side, though. I guess I can understand in the moment feeling betrayed, but she had your back.
Yep. And Bitter says, I had one of those plush Ninja Turtles. Yeah, don't show it to a burner. Dangerous stuff happens. All right, so let's
Yeah, no, I don't have any other gaming news to talk about.
I have no other gaming news, just reliving things that we did and shouldn't have done. But we're glad we did. Oh, by the way, I know I haven't updated this, but Steam Next. Oh no, Steam Next just ended. We got TennoCon coming July. I'm looking back at my list here. So we got June 5th, the Indie Live Expo coming up. Not this week, but next week. We got June 12th, Ubisoft Forward, June 13th. Yeah, we're getting into E3 season.
It is, yeah, June. June is the month.
Mm-hmm. Yep, the week after Memorial Day. So, no, Labor Day. So, no, Memorial Day. Whenever the one that's coming up in June.
Yeah, I always get Memorial Day and Labor Day confused.
It's Labor Day. So, all right. Anything else before we close out the show?
No.
All right.
Yeah,
so then,
actually, at this moment, we are literally 3 weeks away from E3.
Good.
Closing in.
Yep. So within 3 weeks, we're going to be having a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
All right. So let's close this out. You've been listening to GameHounds, episode 595. We recorded this on Sunday, May 23rd, 2021. I've been Edie Sellers, and with me has been Nick DiNicola. Andrew Smith will be back next week. If you ever want to listen to us, you can do it live on Spreaker. That's speaker with an R, Spreaker.com. We record this show every Sunday at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern Time in the United States. On Spreaker, we also, if you want to watch us, video of me, of all the stupid stuff that we show, like drive-by shooting galleries, you can listen to us, or you can watch us on YouTube, on Facebook, and on Twitch. On Facebook and Twitch, we are The GameHounds. On YouTube, we are GameHounds Vids. That's VIDS as in videos. Join us. Thank you to everyone in the chat room. Really big chat room day and fun. We had Ryan Stevenson. We had AC Wraith, who provides all the links in wherever you're watching and or listening. All the links for everything that we mentioned, all the videos, everything is all in the chat room. So check out the comments of that section for whatever venue you're using. He's done it. Thank you so much, AC Wraith. You are a god that way. Thank you to Bitters. Thank you to Blood Reaper. Also, as a reminder, we do have a Discord. Oh, let me get through my thank yous. John Walker, who is a listener from day one in the UK. Thank you for sounding in. Nice to meet you. And we had Sean in there. Thank you for being here. And also, Discord server. Yes, we have a Discord server. We would love to have you join us. The Discord server can be found on the top of the Facebook page. That's The GameHounds, facebook.com, The GameHounds. But if you're interested, there on the screen is our Discord. Feel free to join us. We have news and information. We actually have a section. If you find a news item you want us to talk about or comment about, you can stick it in there. We will absolutely look at it, and it just might make a show. Nick, thanks for being on the show, dude. And Andrew, I know you're listening. Thank you for stopping by. I hope you have a very safe trip home, and we will see you here next week. Everyone, have a great week. Take care of yourself. Be safe. Get that vaccine. Seriously, get the vaccine. And we'll talk to you on Sunday next week at 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern here on GameHounds. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Letting the music play out. Letting the music play out. Forgot to mention the podcast. Oh, well. And music is played out, and we're out of the audio. We're still on video. All right. I'm going to go eat and play some more cities and try to decide if it's really worth it to buy DLC.
I think I'm going to go re-download No Man's Sky.
Ooh.
I might not launch it, but I'm going to
PlayStation or Xbox?
PlayStation. Because that's where I bought it originally.
Did I buy it on PlayStation or did I buy it on Xbox? I can't remember. I will see if I can download it. It might be on oh no, that's Xbox. It would be Game Pass on Xbox. I think I played it on Xbox.
Okay.
Not sure. Well, it might be placed. I'll look and I'll download it. Too. All right. Everyone, thank you for watching. We will be back next week. Have a great week. Bye-bye, everyone.
Yep.